Sir Davos. Lord Snow.
King Snow, isn't it? No, that doesn't sound right. King John? It doesn't matter.
Hey everybody, this is going to be my episode 4 Q&A video. Just careful for spoilers if you haven't seen it yet. There's been a lot of really good questions about stuff that I think is solid Season 8 material. Like a lot of you have started asking about Howland Reed. He's such an important character in the books. Wouldn't it make sense for him to show up? So just because Meera is gone doesn't mean that she's gone forever. But there are just a couple characters like Yara Greyjoy who are still alive, but I don't think that we're going to see till Season 8. Like, they're so focused on the characters that they still have on screen right now that they'll save a lot of the big payoffs for later. So there's just like a lot of book things that they haven't done yet that I still think that they'll come back to in Season 8. So I try to keep most of these questions about the stuff that's happening this season, like what's going on right now. First question though, this is actually a funny one. Bucky asks, who the heck is running the Riverlands, Stormlands, Reach, and Dorne? That's actually a really good question. There are a lot of empty castles in Westeros, so there's probably a token force from each side manning those places. It's possible that the Riverlands have been retaken by the Crown with a token force, but all the Freys are dead. They were loyal to the Crown, so for a time there was just nobody there. But legitimately, neither side really has a big force there, so technically it's not held by anyone. The Stormlands is still held by the Crown, or still controlled by the Crown. Highgarden was just emptied of all the Tyrells, so because they promised that to the Tarleys, there might be a couple Tarley cousins in a token force holding the castle, so technically they control the Reach right now. And then Dorne is a big question mark. I think they hope that you forget about Dorne. They're like, okay, this was a problematic area for us on the TV show. We're just going to quietly usher it off into oblivion. So if there aren't any distant cousins around, there's probably a military leader that sees power by now. Next one, Chibs asks, if Randall Tarley is dead now, how would that affect Jon and Sam's relationship because Dany acted based on Jon Snow's advice? Well, Jon didn't tell her to kill Randall Tarley, and we don't know that he's dead. Even if Randall Tarley winds up dying, I don't think that Samwell was very close to his father, and he believes so strongly in the cause that he's fighting right now, learning to end the threat of the White Walkers. I think those concerns override any personal feelings that he would have about the situation, but you do want to have some sort of character development for Samwell, some payoff for his family. He's not particularly close to them, but you'll probably have to fill a lot of those gaps off screen. Like, you just have to assume how he might react to that. Most of his scenes this year are about paying off big mythology twists. Next question, Ibby asks, do you think that Arya will fight in the battle at Eastwatch? Because she has the Valyrian dagger now. I do think that she'll fight some White Walkers at some point, but not this season. For the remainder of Season 7, I think she's just going to stay at Winterfell, and it's going to be about her, Bran, and Sansa becoming the Wolf Pack. Obviously, Jon would be part of that too, but he's not around. Next question, Felsenstern asks, destroying and burning all the food was pretty stupid. She could have used that for her own armies. I think probably the idea that they wanted to get across is that she was destroying a lot of their supplies, but not everything. It was a little weird that they went from her complaining about Cersei taking all the food to her burning what looked like all the food. But that comment from Randall Tarley about the head and the tail not being able to recover is just a reference to that not being the entire portion of the Lannister and the Crown's army. They probably got enough food to last them to Season 8, and Daenerys probably saved enough food to last them to Season 8. So you see what they're doing. They don't want anybody to have too many resources. So per blockbuster television language, just assume that each side now has enough supplies to last them to the next season. Next question, Eric asks, when will they show either Jon Snow mounting Rhaegal or Tyrion mounting Viserion? Well, like I said, I think any dragon riding besides Daenerys will probably be pushed to Season 8. Like, they're just bringing Jon Snow to the dragons right now. That trailer shot from next week is so epic. Him just standing there, taking it all in, Drogon giving him the full treatment. It's such a loaded moment because if the dragon likes him, then it's another wink to his Targaryen heritage. How would Daenerys react to that? She would probably flip a little bit, but she's already starting to like Jon Snow more and more, so I think it'll just be a really funny, awkward moment that everybody's been waiting to see for a long time now. I would argue that the moment of Jon coming face to face with the dragons, like literally face to face, is just as important as him coming face to face with Daenerys. But it seems like that's all they're doing. Like, they're slowly revealing Jon Snow's heritage. So I do think that we'll get like a big payoff, somebody else besides Daenerys running a dragon, but they'll probably save that for Season 8. Next question, Josh asks, do you think that Bronn and Varys will have big secret pasts? Varys seems different this year. Maybe Varys works for the Iron Bank and Bronn is a wildling. So I like the theories that Varys is doing something secret. There's a traitor in Daenerys' midst, but I don't think that anything beyond what you've already seen is going on. Varys has always been so duplicitous. It is kind of weird seeing him be so genuine this season. Like, there's always some scheme that he has. It's the same thing with Littlefinger's character. You haven't seen either of them do a lot of plotting or backdealing, but I think that's only because they've been focusing so much on the big character payoffs, like bringing Jon Snow to Daenerys. So whereas in previous seasons, you probably would have gotten more Varys scenes, him doing a lot of plotting behind the scenes, you just don't see that happening on screen now because they're rushing things so much. But a lot of you, I think, have guessed correctly that when he's talking to Tyrion about you need to make her listen, they're talking about Cersei, so you could think of that as him doing something shady behind Daenerys' back, like trying to broker peace with Cersei, even though Daenerys wants her head on a pike. But as for Bronn being a wildling, no, I don't think there's anything secret going on with Bronn. Bronn is Bronn. He's kind of like the Hound. They're very much what you see is what you get. Next question, Ashal asks, can anyone tell me exactly what do the White Walkers want? So you have to consider what the Night King's purpose was when he was created, to get rid of the First Men. The First Men had started to cut down their forests, cut down their sacred weirwoods, so it's almost like the Night King is going to wipe the board clean, and it will be nature taking over again. He's very literally a force of nature. It's just that the thing that he's trying to get rid of is something that you really care about, all of these main characters. Next question, Garrett asks, where's Viserion and Rhaegal? I hope they didn't die off screen. So yeah, a lot of people were asking, why did she just take Drogon? I think that was because of what Jon Snow said. He was all about cautioning restraint, so I think that's Daenerys showing restraint. Okay, instead of taking all three and burning King's Landing to the ground, I'll take one dragon, I'll take my favorite, and I'll just burn a bunch of their supplies. I'll prevent them from getting the thing that they took from me, the grain. Next question, Alex asks, a whole bunch of questions, so I'm just going to pick a couple of these. How do you think the Whites will get past the wall, and do you see Bronn, being a sellsword that he is, switching teams to fight for Daenerys? So I'll answer the Bronn one first. Yeah, I definitely think that you're going to see some Team Cersei people switch sides once she does really, really terrible things. As for the White Walkers, there's so many people that have theories now because of those opening credits. They're like, oh wow, the whole Northern Sea is frozen. Does that mean that they really will just walk around the wall? No, that would be blasphemous. You don't build a huge wall, say that it's never been breached, and then not breach it. So that is why that episode 1 comment from Maester Ebros is my favorite. The wall has stood through it all. So while I do think they'll tease the idea of the Army of the Dead coming around the wall, we will get a genuine moment where they bring down part of it, but I think a lot of that might be left for the Season 8 opener. Next question, Daniel from Facebook asks, can we somehow address where the Tullys? Is the Blackfish still alive? So I think there are a lot of people that were wondering after last season, but I think the idea is the Blackfish died defending the castle, but Edmure is still alive. As far as we know, Arya left him in that dungeon, so he was in the dungeon at the Twins. We assume that he might still be there. Maybe someone's let him out. Maybe his wife, like all the women were spared, maybe the women let him out. He does have a son, so technically the Tullys haven't died out the way they make it seem like the Tyrells have been wiped off the map. But there are a lot of cousins, you have to remember. There are a lot of distant cousins in Westeros that they never really address. Like there are a lot of Lannister cousins that we never meet. Next question, Callum asks, so this is all about Arya maybe secretly being the waif. I've seen a lot of these theories pop up. So just to address this, no, I don't think that Arya is secretly the waif and she's wearing Arya's face. There have been a lot of really good face-stealing theories pop up. I don't think that they're true. My favorite crazy Arya face-stealing theory now is that she'll steal Littlefinger's face and use it to control the Lords of the Vale. Because that is a funny thought. If Arya were going to wear his face, what would she do? Would she just wear his face for forever? But I don't think anything so crazy is going to be happening. Arya is Arya. She might wear some more faces before the series, before Season 8 is done. But the one that I'm still holding out hope for, small chance that'll happen, but it's a very small chance, is that Arya will wear Jaime's face after he dies and use that to kill Cersei. So you get a combination of the Valonqar being fulfilled and Arya crossing Cersei's name off her list. But thank you so much for submitting questions. And without getting too maudlin, I'll say thank you so much for 2 million. It's a really big deal. I don't have any special big celebration planned because I never expected this to happen. So feel free to leave suggestions for how I should celebrate in the comments below. Congratulations to the latest giveaway winner, Bradley Hendricks. Please private message me on the back end of my channel so I can get your contact details. What'll happen is I'll post a new bonus video later this week. People have been asking about the Children of the Forest, the mysterious markings that keep popping up. It's shown up so many times during the series, but while you wait for everything, you can click here for the episode 5 trailer video, and you can click here for my episode 4 video. Thank you so much for watching. Everybody stay awesome. I'll see you guys tonight.